I thought I was chasing an adventure. Turns out God was leading me to my husband. Welcome to our digital diary. Today's episode is my solo Tokyo getaway for my birthday. I'm your host, your tour guide, and the main character. My adventure started early in the morning. Papa was already heading out for a tennis match with his friends, so I asked if I could hitch a ride to Mishima Station. Two birds with one stone. He goes to tennis, I go to Tokyo. I bought an unreserved seat on the Kodama 712 Shinkansen. Thankfully, there were plenty of seats available because it was summer vacation. And if you've ever been to Japan during summer holidays, you know that the trains can become absolute chaos. I haven't eaten breakfast or lunch, so naturally the first thing I did was open my bento. Green tea on one side and lunch on the other. Life felt peaceful. There's something about watching Japan through a Shinkansen window. It reminds me that life keeps moving, whether you're ready or not. After arriving at Shinagawa Station, I transferred to a local train bound for Ebisu. From there, it was quite a walk. Thankfully, most of it was shaded. Otherwise, I would have melted into the pavement. My first stop was the Ebisu Garden Place. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's one of Tokyo's elegant commercial complexes, famous for its European-inspired architecture, restaurants, cafes, and seasonal illuminations. Unfortunately, August had other plans. The heat was so intense that I mostly stayed indoors. I couldn't explore as much as I wanted, but I did visit the most important destination, the bookstore. Because priorities. Some people travel for luxury brands. I travel for bookstores. Somehow, I completely forgot to film most of it. Because professional YouTuber. Not really. Next up, my favorite capsule hotel, 9 hours. This branch is in Hamamatsu-cho. I've stayed in several 9 hours branches over the years. Partly because I'm an introvert, mostly because I'm cheap. Actually, it's both. The first thing I always do is find my locker and unload my backpack. My shoulders deserve some freedom too. Then came the fun part, finding my capsule. Some people call them futuristic sleeping pods. Some call them coffins. I call them temporary homes. I immediately tested the mattress because I hate soft beds. If my body sinks, my sleep sinks too. Then, I read the hotel rules. Even though I've probably memorized them already, they're practically identical in every branch. And then, the mandatory comfort room visit. I trust you all know why people go to comfort rooms, right? No further explanation required, right? Then of course, the obligatory mirror selfie. I became curious about the lounge on the 10th floor. It had crazy views, charging station, and a quiet atmosphere that honestly felt perfect for introverts. I bought a new manga earlier in Ebisu. So I charged my phone, sat down, and waited for the brutal afternoon sun to calm down. There was also a woman-only lounge on another floor. Someone was already there though, so naturally I pretended I was only there to admire the view. Social anxiety wins again. Once the building started casting longer shadows, I went back outside. My hotel was within walking distance of so many places.
Do you hear that? My sanity about to break while everyone I know's out. On a trip, on a boat, on a lake.
First up, Shiba Park. I sat on a random bench with my Starbucks seasonal drink and snacks. Hydration is important, you know, especially when your skin is already collecting enough sunlight for the entire month. Through the trees, Tokyo Tower peeked out, almost teasing me, like it had been watching me all day. After that, I visit Zojoji Temple. I'm also not sure if I pronounced that right. One of Tokyo's oldest Buddhist temples. It's quiet, it's peaceful, and it's surrounded by modern skyscrapers. The contrast fascinated me.
I'm tired of feeling all FOMO, babe. I don't even care if we stay home. Put our to-do list on ice. We crank the AC to 79 and make a little island right here. And there ain't a palm tree in sight, but there's not a cloud in your blue eyes. If we need a drink, I'll be the bartender. I got a fifth of Patron and a blender, baby. Slipping on a swimsuit is overrated. You don't need a beach to get a half naked. Life's too short. wasted, 'cause paradise is wherever we make it.
Then I noticed rows of little stone statues wearing bright red hats and bibs. These are called Jizu statues. They're believed to represent protectors of children and travelers. I didn't fully understand everything about their significance though, but I couldn't stop looking at them. There was something beautiful about how different cultures express hope, comfort, and remembrance, even if I don't know it. Then finally, Tokyo Tower. You never truly understand how massive something is until you're standing beneath it. Pictures don't do it justice. I slowly made my way up.
Paradise is wherever we make it. Till the sun's up Monday. We'll tell our phones, do not disturb, like I'm a straw hat, babe. And you can finally pull the tags on your Tommy Bahama shirt. Blue crush up on the 85-inch sound machine. When we wanna hear the ocean, I think everything we need is right here.
Bought another drink from a vending machine because apparently my entire vacation budget went to beverages. Then I waited. I waited for sunset. Checking the time on the Rado watch my mom had handed me before the trip. As the city slowly changed from daylight into evening, I found myself quietly thanking God. Not because life was perfect, not because everything was figured out, but because He had been faithful through every season that brought me here. Sometimes the greatest gift isn't having all the answers. It's simply having enough peace to enjoy where God has placed you today. When night finally arrived, Tokyo transformed. The city lights reflected everywhere. Even my sandals somehow looked prettier. I wandered through the souvenir shops, looked at the prices, then respectfully left. My wallet and I had already agreed beforehand. On my walk back to the hotel, I'll admit, the streets were just a tiny bit creepy. Maybe it was the silence. Maybe it was because I watched too many crime documentaries. Back in my capsule hotel though, I ate my family mart dinner while looking out toward Tokyo Tower. Simple food, but beautiful view. Not a bad way to spend my 31st birthday.
まもなく2番線に池袋行きが参ります。
The next morning, I headed to Ginza. But first, coffee. I had an important mission. To find a dress, because later that afternoon, I had dinner reservation at a ridiculously expensive restaurant. Honestly, I lost count of how many clothing stores I entered. But I remember Uniqlo, because I appreciated their fitting rooms here the most. They're undeniably clean, but they even provide face covers so makeup don't stain the clothes. For me, it mostly protected them from sweat. After finding my dress, I realized I still had extra time, so naturally, I made the most responsible adult decision possible. I went to animate Ikebukuro, the biggest anime store in Japan. While exploring, I suddenly saw something unexpected. A Genshin Impact collaboration. There was even a Ganyu cafe truck. But 750 yen for one drink. I remember I chose to be blind to my desires that day. Around this time, I was deep into my Dialog fangirl era, so naturally, I started looking everywhere for anything Genshin. Then I saw her, Yae Miko. I had always loved her elegant design, and suddenly, someone came to mind. A friend named Kaluz. He loved Yae Miko too. So I took a picture and sent it to him. Who would have thought that one anime fox shrine maiden in the middle of Ikebukuro would quietly become the bridge God used to bring two people closer together. Fast forward that evening, I went to Aoyama Illusion House. Elysion? I don't know how to pronounce that. But it's an elegant Italian restaurant that's tucked away in Minato. Courtesy of my big brother. Thank you, Kuya, for treating me. Course after course kept arriving. It was one of the fanciest meals I've ever experienced. Beautiful presentation, amazing atmosphere, and tiny portions. It was delicious. Just teeny tiny. My final day was spent wandering around Akihabara. no plans, just exploring. Until the rain arrived. My mood disappeared faster than the sunshine. So I hid inside Starbucks, called it a day. To make things even more exciting, my right eye started swelling. Apparently my body decided sightseeing was enough.
And there ain't a palm tree in sight, but there's not a cloud.
But while my trip was winding down, my phone wasn't. Kaluz and I kept talking. More messages, more laughter, more conversations that somehow never seemed to end. All because I happened to see Yae Miko on the street in Ikebukuro. Funny how life works. Sometimes we think the moments that change our future are huge. Life-changing speeches, grand adventures, miracles. But sometimes it's simply noticing a fictional character, sending one photo, starting one conversation, and letting God write the chapters that follow. Today, that person is no longer just someone I shared anime with. He's my husband. And every time I think back to this Tokyo trip, I remember that God was quietly weaving together a story I couldn't yet see. Sometimes the smallest moments became the biggest turning points.